I have a question for you. Seeing that you and I do this every week now, you're my co-host. Um, what is there in the community that I might be missing? What is one thing that you would like to see more of that I'm not providing currently, if anything at all?
Well, I don't have anything off the top of
Okay.
my head. You
All right.
know,
I'm I'm
I'm
gonna post a poll tomorrow and ask the community
okay
um, and see what they have to say. I'm
because I'm getting all my needs met. So
right, right. It,
there you go.
it's kind of like we're back at Marsh's again, right? We get to chat every week,
Yeah, exactly.
right?
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. So, well, tell me what's going on. Tell me what's happening.
Well, um, I'm just feeling a lot more stable,
Nice.
a lot more stability, and less pain.
Good to hear. Yeah, those two things are important for sure.
They are. Um, and just really excited about the ATG stuff. I've been watching some of his YouTube videos,
Yeah. Yeah.
and everything he says makes sense, and
Yeah.
it makes it simple
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
effective.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah,
it.
one of the things that I try to get across to people, obviously my own bias out of it, meaning that my own experience out of it, um, is all of the programming can be scaled from, uh, professional athlete to, like an older population to young athletes to people who have injuries that have had multiple surgeries or whatever, and that broad um, application is definitely something I that really attracted me to staying with the programming and then like starting to work on my level one certification, all the rest of that stuff, because um, oftentimes what happens is that people get into something and it serves a certain niche of people or a certain population really well. And I think that when you can take a subject and broadly apply it effectively, then that's the real merit of the of 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 the subject matter or the program or whatever it is.
Yep, I would
Yeah.
agree.
And,
Yeah,
and the scale of load to from unloaded to loaded.
right. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, because I think that that's the thing that a lot of people are missing. Like I just started writing programming for someone, and they want more mobility, but their um, all of the movements that they're doing are really kind of traditional weightlifting movements, and those build strength. Um,
Right.
so people miss what actually happens when you build that long range strength and that mobility, and how much stronger you are.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely an interesting thing. So, tell me more about what you feel like has helped with your balance and stability.
Um, Doing the exercises consistently,
Mm-hmm.
3 times a week,
Hmm.
and having, let's see, how long have I been doing them now? I think it's been 6 or 7 weeks.
Yep. 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 Yep.
Yeah.
And do you have an do you is there any one of them you can point out and go, "Oh, I think that that was a big driver of that?"
The tib raises,
Yeah.
huge,
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. 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 We discount the, nobody ever exercises the tib, like,
No, no.
you know, we rarely hear about it, But when you start to actually look at it in locomotion, as your body starts moving, and we get into what Gary calls propulsion. I'm sorry, yeah, propulsion. What winds up happening is when your heel touches the ground and that foot goes flat, and then we start to get that knee over the foot. That's your decelerator there, you know.
Yep.
And if you have crappy decelerators, then you're not going to have great stability and balance.
Right.
Yeah.
That and the backwards walking.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That one is such a funny thing because people will see me do it and they really discount it. I think that that's low key one of the best overall lower body movements you could possibly. And again, it doesn't matter whatever level that your fitness level is.
Hmm.
Chances pushed backwards like that before, unless you have a sled and you do a lot of sled. But what people do with sleds is they'll load the sled up heavy and then do it for like cardio, right?
Right.
Instead of kind of a longevity exercise.
Okay. Yeah.
As you do it more, your ankles become stronger, your feet become stronger, obviously your knees become stronger. And so it's a huge yeah. I mean, I, I it's a funny thing to me. It's such low hanging fruit, you know.
I know. I know. Because it just woke up my whole posterior chain. It just
Yeah,
woke it up.
yeah,
And what I'm really disappointed with is how weak my calves are with the calf raises. I
yeah,
mean, they're
yeah,
so hard
yeah, yeah.
unless I cheat them, you know.
Yep. Yeah, yeah, it's yeah. I mean, well, you'll be happy to know you're not the first person that said that. You won't be the last person that says that either.
Okay, good.
So, yeah, I mean, I felt the same way when I first started doing tib raises. I was just shocked at how quickly my tibs fatigued, and then even though I had like when I was lifting, when I was still powerlifting, I did a ton of calf work when I was powerlifting. Partially because I was playing a lot of basketball too, and I wanted to jump higher. Um, and I've never not had strong calves, but oh my gosh, like when I started doing single leg calf raises on a slant board,
Yeah,
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 yeah. And that's what I'm bumping up against because I'm starting to do the single leg calf raises and it's just pathetic.
yeah, yeah. But the bonus of that is think about how think about where you're at, and then think about how much more room you have to grow into as your
Right.
calves get.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. True,
uh,
true.
yeah, it's a pretty cool thing. Like when you start to recognize those limitations that you have are actually that's fuel for growth right there. You know,
Hmm.
and,
Hmm. Hmm.
oh, here or I'm not mobile here or whatever it is. Like that's room for growth. So
Right,
you know,
right.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
So I posted today in that, and I had that poll up. And what are some of the ways that you get around that seasonal affective disorder? Like, how do you get around that and still keep consistent with your workouts?
Well, I have to do the workouts like first early in the day when I have
Yeah.
like first thing in the morning or, relatively first thing in the morning. Cause that's when I'm got my
Yep.
most energy and
Yep.
everything. Like today I had to run some errands first. And so I didn't do my exercises until I finished running my errands.
Yeah.
And I was exhausted.
Sure.
It was
Sure.
just like,
Yeah.
it was cold and yeah, it was just, but I did them, but
Yep.
I know that had I done them first, that it would have gone better,
Yeah.
you know?
So part of a little local gym, right? Where's that gym at
Yep.
that you go to?
It's 5 minutes from my house.
Um, and then do you find that like social outlet helps you to stay more consistent too?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I try to get there at least twice a week.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, that's people discount that, you know? And
Mhm.
also the other thing is you're around other people that are trying to improve themselves. And
Right, I
so
know. Yeah,
super, super important component to being able to stay consistent, and then feeling like you can go out and try new things or take new risks or whatever it is, you
right.
know.
Yep,
Yeah, that community
yep.
part is something that it's funny because back in the day when I was going to the gym and I was working out, well, I started powerlifting. So I I never was out for like fitness things. I was always working out for performance. But we had we had a high school powerlifting team. And so now you're spending 5, 6 hours with these people. And so you get to know them better in different social groups or different cliques. We kind of passed different cliques. There was a girl, oh my gosh. I remember when she walked in the door and we were all like, right? Because she just was outside of any of our social cliques. And she was, if I'm fair, she was kind of annoying, right? But and her nickname on the powerlifting team became Squeaky. That was her nickname, right? But the funniest thing was, like, once you got past like some of those personality things, she was the sweetest person. And then she wound up. My mom worked at a grocery store, and I worked in the grocery store as well, through high school, during high school, and then after high school a little bit. And she worked at the bank that was in the grocery store, and so I just like I got to know her in a completely different way. And so those social things are really super important because you get to know people in a different way. And then one of the things I try to tell people in jujitsu is when you first start, or when you first start training martial arts, because picking up a new hobby as an adult, especially like if you're past, I don't know, let's say 30, is kind of tough because life gets in the way a lot, right? What I tell is like find the person in the room and commit to yourself that I'm going to show up for that person, right? I'm showing up for whoever it is. And you don't even ever have to tell who it is that you're showing up for. Just in the back, because I knew when I was living, part of the reason on the days that I didn't want to show up, was because so and so needed, right? And so I was showing, help them out get better because I could be there to spot them. So,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
yeah, that community thing is really important. It's super important. And I mean, I kind of learned that during COVID a little bit, but you know,
Yeah.
um, I think it's actually one of the cool things about school. I think it's one of the cool things about the platform is because the communities only grow, communities only become successful is um, when the community is engaged with the actual the group. And
Right.
so
Right. Yeah.
yeah, so
Yeah.
yeah, I'm slowly trying to drag people out of their shells, and like, and the funny part is I know most of these people. I think there's only two people I haven't, no, three people I haven't met in the group.
Okay. All right.
I know I know most of them personally. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
you know, time that changes. So, last week we talked about the challenge. That I'm not actually going to start that until December, and it'll be a 21-day challenge because by the
Okay.
time we get together, and particularly with ads, so I could bring people into the challenge, so it's not just me and you.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
so I'm 21 days.
You're cutting in and out,
Oh, I am?
Sean. Yep. You're just starting to cut in and out. Yeah.
Yeah, here, let me take off. Sometimes it's this left AirPod. Sometimes, um, Let's see. Why is my okay? There I am.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
That's better.
Had
Yeah.
to get on my phone.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah. So anyways, so yeah, I'm trying to get we'll kick that 20. We'll do a 28 day challenge in January then. So yeah, so that we can get better. And then we'll just start running it and see where it goes.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Good.
yeah.
Yeah. Over the holidays probably isn't the best.
Yeah. Well, so Jerry was sick a lot of last week, and so he was out. He wasn't working last week, so we
Oh.
got like way behind on things that we needed to do for a launch. And then, like usual, I get excited about something, and I overshoot how much I actually think that we need to get things going, and so yeah, we'll do like 2 weeks to get some of the to test ads and see if we can get people in, and then see what happens 1st of December. Run it until the 22nd. That'll be a great. Um, that'll be a great little test run, anyways.
Right.
So because whenever you start something, you don't know what you're doing until you start it, anyways. So
Right. Right.
you know. You can prepare as much as you'd like, but and I mean it'll be funny to see that how this group is different in, let's say, a year than what it is when it started. You know,
Mm-hmm.
as we get
Mm-hmm.
more people in the group, there'll be more. It'll it, Certain parts of the group will just change just because of how people's interests and all the rest of that stuff.
Okay.
So yeah, so
Good.
yeah. Tell me about tell me. So we had a little bit of a corner turn last week. So tell me about your corner turn. It seems like you last week seems to be like kind of you were starting to feel parts of that things coming together, and last week really seemed to be kind of the step forward, huh?
Yeah, they did. They did. Especially like um, when I start when my body's when it starts getting cold, then my arthritis gets worse, and
Yep.
things just start to hurt and they get stiffer. I just get so stiff.
Yep.
and and I would do just that protocol and I'd feel better immediately.
Sure.
I mean,
Yeah.
just doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I
And
mean,
then
it's amazing what movement does when you have that
yeah,
stiffness or that low grade pain, right?
right, but I think my go-to before would be to stretch more. and that was not working for me. I don't think
Yeah.
it really for anybody, to be honest with you, but
No.
not
No.
just strictly stretching. No.
Right. Yeah. No. I agree. I agree. And I mean, obviously, in both your and my professional careers, uh, our understanding of the human body has changed so much. You know,
Yes.
and so like and we go through these phases of like, well, this is better than this and blah blah blah, and there's no real ultimate approach, right? You've got to be able to kind of marry a couple things together so that you can find something that works for you. But what I think is the big kind of aha moment, um, is that loaded, what they would call loaded stretching, or that long range motion, and getting also having short range motions that provide real quick stability, because like those tib raises, you can do a bunch of reps at them and not worry about really like overtraining your tib, you know
Right. Yeah.
and they respond really quickly, because they have been working in a while.
Yeah.
So that in itself is super powerful, on top of having those longer range motions like a split squat, to help to increase the overall mobility and strengthen those long range positions, because that's the key thing. Like that, a lot of that I don't think that we really had a grasp of as a industry, and then as a species, is we need to be strong in those longer range positions. You know,
Yeah.
so because that's really what helps to provide you with the stability, and then helps you to decrease the chance for injury.
Right. Right. Because that's when you're getting injured, is when you're going to that really big range of motion and you don't
Yeah.
have the
Yeah, and
stability.
I mean, for you, like, I think about the benefit of increasing stability for all of us as we get older, and I mean, people at the gym will talk to me about self defense, and I'm like, well, here's actual self defense, especially as you get older. The best way to have a problem is fall, break something, go to the hospital, catch pneumonia while you're there. You may not come out, you know?
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
so having being able to improve your stability and decrease the chance for falls or getting yourself into weird positions because you're just not strong in certain areas. That's a great way to help prevent terrible
Right.
things happening to you long term down the road.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty crazy. Like, and it's weird how you think about those things more as you get older too. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, yeah, yeah, you think about them a lot more.
because it's a reality.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
It's, you just fall harder and it hurts more and
Yeah. Well, and your inability to get up, and like your inability to get down and up and off the floor. So what happens is we go away from the floor. You know, and so
yeah,
when we go away from the floor, we lose so much potential as a species.
I know. I know. That was the other thing I was going to say that I was noticing last week, because I do try to spend as much time as I can on the
Yeah.
floor
Yeah.
and not sit in the furniture and and
Yep.
everything. And but just like last week, it was like getting up and down was just so much easier, and my knees didn't hurt.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, because you're getting that strength in
Yes.
those positions. You know.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. It's yeah. It's crazy when you start to turn the corner really, and you start to see some of that. Um, those small little things that you didn't notice before, like, oh, hey, that was easier.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
That didn't hurt.
Yeah. 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 I remember I was training in jiu-jitsu one time, and for a while, if like let's pretend somebody's sitting here and I've got my arm wrapped around their shoulder and under their armpit, and then for a while, if I took my legs and triangled around their waist, my oh my gosh, my right knee would hate
Yeah.
it, because
Yeah.
there's so much pressure on it. And then
Yep.
I remember I was training one time, and they call it a body triangle, and I put a body triangle on this guy, and I said into his ear, I was like, "Oh, you guys are in trouble because I can do this now." Because I couldn't do it for so long. I would avoid that position. And it wasn't, I didn't think, oh, I should body triangle now. I just did it because I had the ability to do it. My brain didn't even think about not being able to do it.
Hmm. Hmm.
So when you start to recover those weird, oh, I didn't think about that. There's those little side benefits.
Yep.
It's a pretty powerful thing.
It
So
is. Yeah.
yeah. So what do you have coming up for the holidays? Do you do anything for Thanksgiving?
It's just my boyfriend and I for Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
and so the the holidays are usually pretty low key. You
Sure.
know, it's usually just the two of us.
Yeah.
Christmas sometimes we get invited to some relatives or something, but
Hmm.
otherwise it's not this big, like, oh, we got to go here and there and we got to go to all these parties, and
Yeah.
and we kind of like it that way.
Sure.
It's
Sure.
yeah, yeah. How about you?
We stay here for Thanksgiving and then go home for Christmas. So,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, actually, I think, I don't know. I had pancakes with Marsha last week, and I think her and Matt are going to come over for Thanksgiving. They usually come over for Thanksgiving.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
yeah, and I make a turkey and all that stuff. My wife's nephew lives in Colorado and he's driving back home to Michigan. And he's going to stop next Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. He'll be here next Tuesday through Thursday. So I think I'm going to get a turkey on Wednesday and make Thanksgiving dinner for them. He and his buddy. I We had lots of parties when I was a kid. So like I Thanksgiving was always at my house when growing up as a kid. So that's definitely a tradition that I've tried to carry forward a little bit. And then when we go home for Christmas, I think we'll be home for 8 days, and I think we have 5 parties to go to.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, and I
Is-
mean that's the way it was when I was a kid too. Like
okay.
we would go to between the 1st of December and New Year's Eve, we'd go to 5, 6 Christmas parties. I mean, we were at least one Christmas party every weekend.
Wow.
So yeah, so yeah, those are, and it's one of the I get to go home. My cousin Mina is, oh my gosh, Mina's she's got to be in. She's a little bit older than my dad, so Mina's got to be. Well, I mean, she's got to be late 70s, early 80s, and Mina has had a party at her house since I can remember. So, I mean, like, I don't ever remember Mina not having a party. And when I was a kid, oh my gosh, there was so many people at Mina's house. I mean, like, you like it was crowded as a kid, right? So I couldn't
Right.
even imagine as an adult. And she lives in this old 1890s farmhouse across the road from a lake. So I get to go to Mina's party this year because her party is the Saturday before Christmas, unless Christmas Eve is on a Saturday. You know what I mean? And
Okay.
so,
Right.
so it's usually like the third Saturday of December, typically. Um, but I don't know how many more times mine's gonna have a party because she's getting old.
Right.
She's not
Yeah.
gonna at some point in time. So we were pretty excited that we were gonna get to Mina's party and go do that, which has obviously like slowed way down. I mean, now there's maybe a third of the people that was there when I was a kid. So, but
Right. Right.
yeah.
Well,
So
that
yeah,
sounds.
it's not. Go ahead. What's that?
I said that sounds really fun.
Oh,
Like, yeah.
it's a blast. I mean, and the sad part of it is that when Minus stops having the party, I don't know, but I think that party just dies.
This
You
is the
know?
problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yep.
Like that.
Yep.
Unfortunately, that tradition dies, and
Yep.
that would be a very sad, you know, thing for so many of us in the family. So, but yeah, so probably when I go, so usually when I go home, anyways, like I have like probably about a week to a week and a half off of no training, no anything like that, just to give myself a pretty good reset
Great.
because there's not a lot of time. B, I don't have like, there's a couple places where I can go to work out, but it's like usually we're in the car, like going all
Right.
over the place. So and I think that that's an important thing for a lot of people as well. That's kind of the reason I made that post yesterday was uh, during the holidays. I mean, like nobody dies if you miss a workout. You know,
No. No, you don't.
and but people put a lot of pressure on themselves to try and keep up with the schedule and like you're not. Nothing's going to happen. Nothing happens if you miss one. Nothing happens if you make one. When it happens, when something happens, when you miss 7 and then 15 and then 30, or you make
Right.
7 and 15 and 30. I mean,
Right.
so
Yeah.
yeah.
That's true.
So
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, I think about like if you take a vacation, like I take a week off in February, and it's actually nice to have that week off. I mean, you actually come back fresher, refreshed, renewed.
Yep.
You don't really lose anything by one
No.
week.
No. Contrary to what everybody wants to believe. Well, they want to believe that they can make up for the last 9 months that they've missed in a week, and they believe that they're going to lose all of the hard work that they put in if they miss a week.
Right,
So
right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, nonsense. So
Life is
well,
short.
Sonia, you've successfully spent another half hour with me. Congratulations.
Yay.
Um, yeah, thanks again. I say this every week, but I appreciate you hopping in here and being my co-host at the moment. So yeah, keep up the good work.
All right.
As I've said before, if you run into any roadblocks or anything like that, don't hesitate to reach out. So,
Okay.
all
I'll do
right,
that. All
good,
right.
good.
Thanks, John.
Well, thanks so much, Sonia. I'll see you next week.
All right. Bye
Yep. Bye
bye.
bye.